I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about she didn't know what she wants. Well, not knowing what you're wanting or what you're looking for can certainly have a big impact on a relationship. Sometimes we're in a place in life where we want different things, and sometimes we go back and forth in what we want, where at certain times we can feel like we want one thing and yet struggle with wanting another thing. So knowing what you're looking for is important, and dating somebody that knows what they're looking for is also important, because you might be looking for two different things or looking for something at a different time than somebody else, and it could lead to a situation not working out. And today, I got an email coaching that kind of gets into that, but there's some other interesting issues that come up along the way. So I think you guys are going to really like this one and find it helpful. So this is an email coaching from somebody that I did just recently that is around 30 years old, and he was dating somebody that was in her early 20s, okay? He had a professional career, I won't say what it is, and she also has a professional career. But, being at her age in her early 20s, I think had a big part in not knowing what she wanted. But it gets deeper than that. And so you're going to see some other issues come up around this that I think is kind of enlightening, okay? So they said, "Hi, Craig and Margaret. I've recently come across your work and want to thank you and Margaret for being voices of reason and calm for me. I found your work too late to save what I had with the girl that I was dating, but it is helping me cope. My questions are, what should I do now? Have I lost this girl forever? And would another chance even be a healthy situation?" So we could come back to those questions at the end, but let me get into how this started out. He said, "I met her online in early December. We hit it off and got to know each other. We started dating in the beginning of January, and we broke up in the middle of March." So, sounds like they were dating for about 3 months or so. They started talking in early December, so knew her for about 4 months. All right. Now he says, since the end of April, she has been in a relationship with another guy. All right. So not long after they broke up, because they broke up in the middle of March, just maybe 2-3 weeks later, since the end of April. So about a month later, a little bit more than a month later, she is with another guy. So he said, we had 6 dates, all 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Those are really long dates. I wouldn't recommend spending, 11 hours on your dates with people that you're just getting to know. Could be a little bit overwhelming. You want to spend a little bit of time with the person and just start to feel comfortable. See if you have good chemistry. See if you get along well. See if you even enjoy each other's company. Starting a date at 10 a.m. and going to 9 p.m., that's exhausting. That's a bit much. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be making dates for the morning time. I really think that if you're trying to create a romantic atmosphere, you should do dates in the evening. Okay? So things to keep in mind right off the bat. He said, They would go bowling, crazy golf, air hockey, playing pool, hiking, dinner dates, late night walks around the city walls and the beach, etc. All right, so they did a lot of fun stuff, which I do like, but let's keep those dates for in the evening time, okay? That's when romance really happens, not 10 a.m. in the morning, okay? All right, so he says, I care a lot about people and value time spent with someone very highly. He underlined it, okay? All right, so you already get a sense that he's got some anxiety, right? In other words, somebody that has more of an avoidant attachment style wouldn't be valuing time very highly, underlining it, right? Because a lot of times avoidants really enjoy their independence and alone time. She lives about an hour away. She is quiet, awkward, and seemed to have low self-esteem, often saying, "What if I bore you?" And "You're just saying you had a good time. I bored you, really." Okay, so that's some signs that she's got low self-esteem, right? Because she's afraid of boring you, and you're just saying you had a good time. So she didn't even feel like, oh, you really had a good time with me too. It's concerning when people do things like this because a lot of times they'll wind up sabotaging things. Whenever I said, "It's great to see that cute smile," she would reply with, "She doesn't smile," or "She doesn't laugh." So you try and have a compliment with her, you try and get a little connection there, and she's like, "No, I don't smile, I don't laugh." It's frustrating, right? She does not seem to be close with her family who she lives with. She still hasn't told them about me. Okay, well, you guys had gone on 6 dates, and not everybody is close with their family or wants to tell them their personal life. I don't know what culture she is, but, different cultures around the world, which I talk to people all around the world, it's very different. And sometimes people don't even know that you're dating someone until you're talking about getting engaged or ready to get engaged. All of our dates, we met up. Attempts to pick her up or do something near hers, she would avoid. Could be a red flag. Certainly something to be aware of, right? She doesn't want to get picked up. So why? Does she not want you to know where she lives? She does live with her family. She's trying to keep you a secret for some reason. Something to consider. She spoke down about her father. Okay. So that's another red flag. She might not have a good experience with men. If she doesn't have a good relationship with her dad, it may be hard for her to trust guys. One date, she hid her car from view in case her father spotted it. And she would lie to her parents about what she was doing. This often made me feel uncomfortable. Well, in what sense? I wouldn't like it that I'm seeing somebody that I'm dating, lying to their parents that they haven't truly individuated and have become their own person, where they're saying, look, I'm going out on a date, I'll see you guys later, or this is, it doesn't sound healthy. It doesn't sound like a good home life. She's in her 20s already, and she's already hiding her car from her dad. She's lying to her parents. Makes you wonder about her integrity. And her maturity level. Is she just in this still kind of immature young girl mode where she's hiding from her parents that you see a lot of teenagers do? So all kinds of red flags here. Jess only gave me one-armed hugs. Ooh. That may be the worst part of the story yet. One-armed hugs. Ugh. And only held my hand once and let go when other people approached. If you've been on 6 dates with somebody, I would think that there would be some more intimacy than a one-armed hug and holding your hand once. So what's going on there, right? Her physical affection was limited to light pushes and pokes. If I tried to put an arm around her, she would remove it or shrug it off. Not a good sign. She doesn't want to really connect with you physically. I know it's still early, but, you would expect a little bit more romance to go on than this. Especially having marathon dates. We sat on a beach. She'd sit apart and point her body away from me. Boy, she's really trying to avoid getting close and connecting with you, huh? And said, I don't know how to hug, hold hands, or cuddle. I do sometimes, I just don't like it. I hate holding hands. Okay, so it seems like this is more about her issue than it is even about getting to know you. That she's telling you she doesn't like hugs, doesn't know how to hug, doesn't like to cuddle or hold hands. If you like physical touch and closeness and intimacy, this may not be the girl for you. She said that she had a bad time in the past, and while we have a good time together and get along well, it takes her a long time to trust people and feel comfortable. Well, you should take your time in getting to know people and getting comfortable with them, but it sounds to me like it's more than that. It just seems more and more as we delve into this that she doesn't like a lot of closeness, and she might have an avoidant attachment style. I resorted to asking her if I could hold her hand or to link arms, but she would refuse and put her hands in her pockets. Well, that's frustrating. I mean, part of the excitement of, dating is when you start to have those little moments of holding hands, sitting close to each other, arm in arm, and getting closer, even if it's just little moments at a time. And she's got these walls up like, nope, don't like this, don't like that. Here's a list of things that I don't like. Oh, wow. Okay. We never kissed, which became a big issue. My anxiety regarding ruining things, given her avoidance of intimacy, meant I was reluctant to try unless she part initiated. Well, I mean, she's telling you she doesn't like any of those things, doesn't like holding hands and locking arms and cuddling and doesn't hugging. So who's going to feel comfortable trying to be intimate or initiate kissing when she's putting all these walls up? It's not going to be easy for anybody, even if you're confident. But she said I should just go for it, as she was just too shy to initiate herself. Too shy or just not interested in it? However, at the end of dates, whenever I would go for the kiss, she would quickly get into her car and say, I don't want to. Talk about mixed messages. You should just go for it. No, I don't want to. Right? She's like telling you go for it. You should just do it because I don't like to do it. But then when you go for it, she quickly gets in the car to escape the situation, to avoid it. Our last date, I gave her a couple of small gifts that I had bought while I was on vacation. Nothing expensive, things that showed thought behind it. Her favorite sweets from a sweet shop, some food from a shop we visited on our first date, and a key ring with matching socks, because we shared a joke about socks. All right? I mean, it's sweet. It may have been a little bit overwhelming. I think a lot of things are already overwhelming this girl. Like looking at her, blinking, breathing the same air, sitting in the same room, sitting on the same beach. It's like, it's going to be really tough to get close to somebody who's being like this, right? We finished the evening having a good laugh, but she still avoided a kiss at the end of the night and seemed less interested. Well, I'm guessing she started to feel guilty about all the gifts that you gave her, and it was just a bit overwhelming because she doesn't really know what she wants. I mean, she's spending time with you, And she's giving you some mixed messages like go for it, but then you go for it, no reciprocation. It feels like a losing battle, right? Like this is somebody that, you would want to be excited about. You're just starting to date. All right. A few days later, I found out she had a new account on a dating site that we met on, and I caught her lying about it. Yeah, I mean, you get to this point, and me personally, I'd be thinking, all right, this isn't even worth it. I mean, it's been difficult all along, and now she's on a dating site, and she's lying about it. At this point, I said she was free to see other people if she wanted, but I wouldn't be comfortable still seeing her if she did, given we'd gotten to know each other pretty well. Well, I mean, you'd gone on 6 dates, and they were long dates, but there wasn't a lot of closeness here. And based on how she's behaving, I can't imagine she opened up too much to you emotionally either. She said I was the only guy she's talking to, and she was not seeing anyone else. Well, maybe that's true, but I don't believe that you were the only guy she was talking to. Or that you were the only one, because why would she go on a dating site? She said she liked me and liked spending time with me, but didn't know what she wanted yet and didn't want to lead me on. Okay, well, that seems fairly honest, which is good. I mean, she doesn't want to lead you on. She knows you like her. That's part of the problem. She knows you like her a lot, and she's not sure about things. And she doesn't trust people easily. And, she probably feels like maybe you're pushy and wanting things more than she can handle. So, let's see what happens. A month went by where she became distant and was always too busy to meet, but told me she was going to the movies with a friend. Her interest level had plummeted. Well, we knew she was on another dating site, right? She told you. And she said she wasn't talking to another guy. Maybe that was true at the time. But she kind of disappears for a month here. She's going out with a friend. Come on. There's another guy at this point. By the middle of March, I said I thought we should stop seeing each other because she was avoiding meeting up, and I felt we had become one-sided. She agreed we should stop seeing each other and said, I don't want anything more than friends at the moment. Well, even when you were hanging out, it didn't seem like you wanted more than friends because there wasn't any romance or intimacy going on here, or if there was, it was very little. She said, it's difficult at the moment. I've got too much going on and can't seem to deal with it. I've got a lot of stuff that needs doing and no time to do that and meet up with people. I don't believe any of this. So seeing someone is the last thing on my mind. I don't believe that. And I don't like being nagged to meet up. Oh, okay, now I'm nagging you to meet up. Well, quite frankly, I don't believe you. Okay? It's too difficult. Well, you were going to the movies with a friend on a dating site with somebody or talking to somebody. I just don't believe her. She's probably just not really good at being honest or communicating. She seems fairly avoidant to me as we've gone through a lot of behaviors. And so, I'm not even sure what you liked about this girl because she's lying. She's making excuses. She doesn't want to get close to you. She doesn't trust people. She's got low self-esteem. Let's continue. I replied that I understood and was sorry if I was nagging her to meet up, but that I couldn't be friends and she should get in touch if she changed her mind. Fair enough. At this point, I would have thought to myself, she doesn't look like a good candidate for the long term. There's a lot of concerns here, but if she wants to hang out in the future and I'm available, maybe I'd do it. 5 days later, she suggested we meet up. Here's more mixed messages. She's too busy. She doesn't have time. She doesn't like being nagged. 5 days later, she wants to meet up. I made plans and booked a restaurant for the following week, but she canceled the midnight before. He said, "It's not the first time." I was a little annoyed and said I didn't mind the cancellation, but didn't appreciate it being last minute. I don't blame you. I mean, she's giving you so many mixed messages here. She got angry and said we should stop talking altogether. But we talked things out and continued to message. A week later, she told me she had gone bowling, played pool, and air hockey with a friend. So now it seems like she's doing the same dates that she did with him with this friend, who she was too busy to see you, canceling at midnight the day before. She has time to do all this other stuff. I'm sure most of you guys are shaking your head right now, right? Let's see what happens. I tried once again to meet up, but she was busy. A week after, she posted on Snapchat an exact copy of all the places she had taken me on my birthday. The same arcade, cafe, cake shop. Jeez. She's reliving all of the same dates with this new guy. Same spot she had held my hand. Wow, even the same spot where they held hands, which she knew meant a lot to me. This upset me and I went into no contact. 1 week later, I had an important work exam and went for drinks with colleagues. That morning, she reached out with Snapchats. I didn't open them until that evening to focus on the exam. The snap was of the same spot I had taken her to, where we sat on a blanket overlooking a valley during sunset and had a picnic. It's like she's reliving the exact same dates with somebody else. I tried responding, but she unfriended me on Snapchat. I texted her asking how she was and tried to set a date. Now, what would make you do that at this point? After she unfriended you on Snapchat, I mean, why would you go out of your way to text her? She simply responded, "I don't know when I'll be free. Enjoy your night out." Now she's like passive aggressive. As she had reached out several times without wanting to meet, I told her that I would love to see her and go on another date. Take things slow and see where things go. Why would you love to see this girl? This is the girl that you would love to see? What? I mean, she is barely giving you anything. And you're loving to see her? Like, you should be more like, I would consider maybe seeing you if I was absolutely bored out of my mind and had nothing better to do. That's where you should kind of be at this point. Wow. But if she didn't have any time to be more than friends over the phone, to please not reach out, as I would only ever see her romantically and couldn't just be friends. Well, I'm glad you stood up for yourself there finally, kind of said, look, contact me if you want to actually see me. She should get in touch if she changed her mind. That was the end of April. She has not reached out since. A few days ago, I saw she's been in a relationship with another guy since the end of April. Unbelievable. You didn't see that one coming, did you? I mean, we knew there was another guy in the picture, but with as uncomfortable as she was and awkward as she was and not wanting as much closeness like with him throughout this whole thing and these mixed messages, wow, you're in another relationship. Well, that's a surprise. He says, I am heartbroken. Well, you got to get yourself into a better place and work on your attachment issues, because you only went on 6 dates with this girl, and I don't even think you said you kissed. I know you said you held hands, but you didn't even kiss, and you're heartbroken. You got to work through this and get to a better place emotionally so you're not heartbroken over strangers. I mean, there was almost no intimacy here. I know you probably had this imagination of who she was or who you wanted her to be, but she's not that. And that's a lot to do with your own unmet needs. And so you got to work through that. I don't know if you've been doing the workbooks. They'd help you a lot. You'd feel a lot better. You'd be able to figure this stuff out a lot easier. The creative healing course is obviously a lot more in depth than the workbooks. But you got to work through this stuff because you're letting a girl that you've only gone on 6 dates with, only held her hand, leave you with a broken heart and destroying your world. All right. She may have been seeing him while we were still dating. Well, she could have been. She could have been lying easily. I realized too late I acted needy and insecure and pressured her to spend time with me when she needed space. Now I feel so guilty I messed things up and likely drove her into his arms. You know, I could see that you were probably overeager and probably coming on too strong and pressuring her and probably overwhelming her. That's true. But you don't know that that's why she started dating this other guy or drove her into his arms. I don't see it like that. It hurts knowing she's taking him on the dates we had gone on. Yeah, it's awful. And she's more intimate with him. Yep. We ended up being cold and withdrawn with each other those last few weeks, but we enjoyed every time we were together. I'm scared she'll forget about me, but was she breadcrumbing me? I would say so. Yeah, she was giving you mixed messages, and only when you kind of stood up for yourself and were like, I'm not going to tolerate this, I'm taking space, call me if you change your mind, that's when she was reaching out, right? But then she wouldn't actually go on a date with you and see you in person, but she had time for other people, going out at midnight, going out with a friend, and magically winding up in a relationship like a month after you. We're still unfriended on Snapchat, but friends on Facebook and Instagram, and she watches my stories. I will remain in no contact unless she reaches out. I am heartbroken about the situation. Despite the anxiety, I thought the world of her. I will start your workbooks right away. All right, so he hadn't started the workbooks, and you could tell. You could tell because look at what he was doing here with a woman that he barely knew. Earlier, he had asked those questions. What should I do now? Well, if I was in this situation, I think the primary focus should be your mental health, working through your attachment issues, and becoming more secure. You're going to start the workbooks. Hopefully you've been doing them since the email coaching and staying focused on that. Have you lost her forever? I mean, how did you lose her when you never even had her? You guys went on 6 dates. You didn't even kiss. You only held hands one time. What exactly did you have? This is a mirage. This isn't a breakup. You guys were never official. I mean, there was almost no intimacy in the entire thing. I know she was spending, some long dates with you, but, I don't think she was ever yours. As far as if she's gone forever, well, it's hard to say. She could come back around again, but I think she would just continue to give you those mixed messages and leave you frustrated. Overall, I don't think she's very healthy. I mean, as you could see me pointing out all these things that were going on along the way between her family, the way she acted insecure. I mean, all those things that I went up front with and talked about at the beginning of the video. I don't think this is going to be a healthy situation. I think she's just going to leave you hurt and disappointed. I think the most important thing is that you're going to learn from this how to get confident, how to become secure, and not attach to strangers, and hopefully learn that you got to take your time to get to know somebody. And if you haven't worked through your issues, you're going to continue to project fantasies on people that you don't really know, hoping that all of those unmet needs are going to magically take place. So keep up the hard work. I don't think you're missing out on somebody who's going to be the love of your life or the love of anybody's life at the rate she's going. Maybe a goat that, in the middle of the mountains, she'll get close to once a year and then throw him out into the cold. She's just not showing any ability to give you a healthy relationship. She's in her early 20s, so she's still young. She sounds avoidant. There's a lot going on here that, for me, I would say, at best, she's just somebody in the way, way, way back of my mind that maybe I would consider going out with and hanging out with, but probably not, because I wouldn't want to waste my time. Your time is valuable. Don't waste it on somebody like this who isn't even eager or excited to spend time with you, okay? So hopefully you found this helpful. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.
To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.